Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Parent Pivot podcast. I'm laughing because usually we're facing the camera because we're also recording for YouTube.
Yes.
But I'm not doing that right now. We're not doing YouTube. We're just going to do the podcast version. And I get to stare into your beautiful blue eyes.
Yes.
Hey, the month of April is already it's ending here soon. So
Gone.
Anyway, April showers bring May flowers. We have not had showers in Georgia.
We had some 2 nights ago.
That's not showers.
It wasn't enough.
No, we need more rain. So wherever you're at in the country, I know that our lakes are down here in Georgia. We were just up at the lake for lunch on our anniversary. And it was down. So anyway, I don't know why I'm starting off with that, but hey, welcome to another Parent Pivot podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Steve Cummings.
And I'm Julia Cummings.
We didn't say that yet, right?
No,
okay.
I don't think so.
We went and saw a movie. Did we see it on? No, we didn't see it on our anniversary night. We saw a movie that is prompting this podcast.
Yes, we went and saw a movie on Saturday.
This last Saturday.
And a movie called I Swear. It's a movie out of the UK about, based on a true story, about a guy who, when he was 13, developed Tourette's.
Yeah.
And it's his story. It will keep you, I was crying the whole time and laughing the whole time.
Right. You go from one extreme to the other just because they say what's on their mind.
Yeah. They just say so many, outlandish things, as you know, if you're familiar with Tourette's. But his story was so moving and sad. And what is prompting this podcast today was when he's an adult and he's actually doing well.
Right.
He has a conversation. He goes back and has a conversation with his mom. And you can see, I don't know, I guess the shame on her face.
Yeah, let me, and you're right. But also too, his having Tourette's and they didn't know what it was.
Right.
Caused the family to break up. The dad didn't know what to do. So he leaves. So mom, there's a lot of hurt on her side.
I don't want to give too much away.
Are y'all going to go see it?
I'm trying to be vague
so that Julie wants to be vague. I'm getting more specific
so that people can go see it without knowing everything.
Okay.
So, in any case,
spoiler alert from Steve. Sorry about that.
In any case, there is this scene where he has a conversation with his mom and you can see the shame on her face. And I don't know, it was at that point that I could not hold in my tears. And I was like, literally, it was everything within me to keep from making an ugly cry, sobbing noise.
Right.
Because I just felt so much of what that mom must have felt, because as he was growing up, imagine that your son is just having tics and yelling out profanities and getting in trouble at school and fights are starting and, all of these things that would naturally happen with people not understanding him, but he's being blamed for it because it looks like he's wanting attention.
Right.
And so it was just an unknown entity. The movie starts in 1983 and takes him through his life. But she didn't know what she didn't know.
Right.
And that's the bottom line. And that's the piece that I really want to zero in on.
Right. Because I think, and again, whether you've got an adult child who's got a disability or not, what we're wanting to talk about today is just what you don't know and you don't know. And so you look back on life and going, and you start blaming yourself.
Yeah.
You start feeling a lot of shame and guilt and going, I wish I would have done that. And we don't, I don't know, we struggle with that.
Yeah. I really struggle with that in my own life with my oldest. Oftentimes the oldest is kind of I hate to say it.
Breaking you in as a parent.
But they're breaking you in as a parent. They're your guinea pig child on some level because you are learning everything. And precious Wesley,
He's got the clean pacifier though.
Yeah, he did. When he was born, a few hours after, the next day after I had a C-section, and the next day he was in my room and just going,
Yeah.
And So I'm like, I asked Steve, I said, honey, can you please take him to the nursery? That's just driving me crazy. And that sounds awful for a new mom to say that, but it was like I needed to sleep. And
No, and I remember holding him too. And I told the nurse, I said,
Yeah.
I mean, and they look at you like, oh, you're just a new dad. You don't
Exactly.
understand that. And literally,
Exactly.
I took him across the hall into the nursery, and literally, like within 5 minutes, they came back and said, what?
They said, you have a very sick little boy.
Yeah.
So Wesley spent the first 2 weeks of his life in the NICU, with under the incubator and with tubes in him because it turned out he had spinal meningitis.
Yeah. The one that was not as serious.
Right. There are two different kinds, and one for infants is less serious than the other. So he spent his first 2 weeks like that. Now, granted, I could go every day, and they were so lovely and gracious
Go
at the
visit him,
hospital.
right? 'Cause-
And they would give me a room, and I would go and just hold him all day. I would nurse him and pump and do all the things. But then I'd have to give him back, and he'd be in an incubator,
Mhm.
and he's under lights.
Yeah.
And
He had some cool sunglasses.
yeah. But he's being poked and prodded. And, you know, his first hours of life, he had to have a spinal tap. And,
Right.
you know, there are all these things. And I didn't know what I didn't know about that, just developmentally, about how even what happens in utero or in, you know, right after they're born, those moments are critical.
Mhm.
And those moments probably caused anxiety in Wesley's life.
Mhm.
And that was the part I didn't know. And so in retrospect, I look back, and oftentimes I get sick to my stomach when I think about it, when I think about what my child had to go through.
Yeah. Going through it again, reliving it.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And knowing that I couldn't be there the way he needed me to, and I couldn't hold him endlessly and give him the comfort he needed. And so as he grew, he had anxiety. And not just about that, but he also was very small as he was growing up. And he's normal now. He's 5'8". He's happily married. He's got 4 kids. He's doing great. So no sob story there. But those moments that I wasn't aware that would affect him for the rest of his life. And that's the piece that
Right.
gets me.
Okay, so that's mom.
Yeah.
Can you put your therapist hat on and shift from the tears to the what do we want other parents of adult children to know and understand? Hey, you're looking back on your adult kids, and whether you have a relationship with them or not. I mean, this can come up. So we're just talking about, hey, you may have had something happen, and you're blaming yourself.
Yeah.
Right? That's really what we're talking about.
There's regret, shame, blame. I'd say all of it put together. But the big piece is, how do we let ourselves off the hook? How do we give ourselves grace with knowing that you didn't know what you didn't know, that you couldn't have done something different because you just didn't know it.
Right.
And so that's the piece that takes some effort, takes some thought, takes some prayer, and
takes some healing. I'm going to put healing in there because
takes a lot of healing. And in order to heal, as with any negative emotion, we need to replace our negative emotions with positive things.
Right.
So like one thing that I ask my clients to do often is when they're struggling with something, or a misbelief about themselves, and they're believing lies about themselves or whatever, is trying to replace that with truth and saying that truth out loud.
Right.
It's not enough to think a truth.
Right.
We need to say the truth.
Right. And the other side of that is a lot of is there. The other side of that is when we agree with those negative thoughts and feelings, we are making an agreement with the forces of darkness.
Yeah.
And that becomes another spiritual battle. And we want to be released from that. We're not here to be in chains. So I'm coming at from the spiritual side because I've got a ministry to men called Bringing Kingdom and have a podcast. So if you're a man listening or a wife listening, nudge your husband with the elbow saying, go check out Steve's I Know a Guy podcast.
Or son.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk about identity a lot on that and things, but where my heart goes to is Psalm 139. And I believe this about all of us, that before we were born, God has been to every day in our life before our moms and dads conceived us. Okay. Yeah. So if that is true, and I'm saying that rhetorically because it is true, then that means all the things that we didn't know are part of that journey for our kids.
Yeah.
And so it's almost becomes like this prideful thing. Like, I'm supposed to know this stuff so my child can have a perfect life. If you think about it.
Absolutely. And me as a mom, I want my child to have a perfect life.
Right. And
that is the goal. And that's why we struggle letting go, because we see them perhaps veer.
But what's funny is you're not a helicopter mom.
I'm not.
You didn't do that part.
No, but I have the thoughts.
Okay.
I have the thoughts.
Okay.
And part of that is codependency, right? Mm-hmm. Because if your kids aren't happy, you're not happy.
Ooh, that's like the husband-wife thing. If mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Exactly. And, they say mom is only as happy as her least happy child. And so that is a thing. That is something that I'm speaking for moms and myself in particular, that we struggle with. Right. That I want my kids to have a perfect life, because them having a perfect life means I'll have a better life too.
So
right?
Wanting it and reality are two different things.
Yes.
So we're trying to come at this from reality.
Yes.
And say, don't carry that burden and release that. The Father has forgiven you, but the problem is we have a hard time forgiving ourselves.
Right. And I'm not even sure that we need forgiveness.
Okay.
We may need it from ourselves because we're being hard on ourselves.
All right.
But I don't believe that God forgives me for something that I was completely ignorant of.
No.
Right?
Right.
That
I was speaking more from the standpoint we need to forgive ourselves because we're holding against ourselves that my child didn't get what he needed and I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what I didn't know back then.
Right.
And we have a podcast so that right now, parents, you can know what you want to know right now to pivot from a parent to a partner. So that's why we're here every week. Right.
So in that essence, I just want to say healing begins with letting yourself off the hook some. And that may take some verbal talking to yourself.
Yes.
In spite of what people say, talking to yourself is not crazy. It's actually quite healthy. Especially when you are countering.
Unless it's out loud and you're in a crowd of people.
Yeah, might be a little weird then. But when you are telling yourself lies, to verbally say, no, Julia, the truth is.
Right. What is the truth?
A, B, C, D.
And we have to accept that,
Yeah.
But
that's going to take time to actually get into your heart to believe.
Right.
Because you've been believing something else for so long that it's going to take time. It's going to take discipline to counter that over and over and over again.
How long did it take you?
I don't know, because it's something that I didn't know I needed to do. I would say I'm still doing it because it's only, I would say it's only been in the last few years that I have actually thought this much about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're having therapy right here as you listen between husband and wife on the Parent Pivot podcast.
Yeah.
True confessions.
Yeah. Just out of things that we've talked about or whatever, or I know Wesley struggled with, or, just things like that it's come back and haunted me. And I would say each of the kids, I have something that haunts me with them. And I'm not going to get into each child.
Okay.
This is the one that is the safest to share and is more simple on some level.
How come I haven't known this?
You probably do know because there are conversations we've had, but you're not piecing it together that way.
I got you. So it's all in your head. It's just not in my head.
Right. But we've probably talked about it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are things that as the kids grow up that you do or say
Sure.
that you had no idea the impact it would have on them.
So what can we do other than say forgiving ourselves or coming to terms with that? Is there anything we need to do with the adult child?
I would say sit down and have a conversation.
Even though there might be oblivious to it all?
Let me give you an example. We've talked about our conversation that we had with Wesley a few years ago where we sat down and found out that there had been, like 10 years of some stuff that he had been holding on to and things like that we found out. It's that kind of conversation that I'm talking about because
a listening conversation.
Yeah. In that conversation, I learned, yes, there were some things in these last 10 years, but I could see how the things that had happened were formed in his childhood.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, but let me ask you this. That was something that he had formed in his mind, and he was letting us know, and we got that cleared up. And that's a story that we've shared many times on the podcast where 2 weeks later he apologizes for sharing his viewpoint. We said we didn't need that. No. But now this is about you. So
in that conversation with Wesley, what I heard was things that he currently struggled with that had to do with us, but I could see how those were formed in his childhood. They were struggles he had with us in his childhood.
Okay.
And one thing Wesley will say to me, which I appreciate so much, it's so sweet and kind of him, what is that he gets it. And he will say, Mom, I know you were an overwhelmed mom with 4 small children. And he lets me off the hook. Because I had 4 kids in 5.5 years, and it was a lot.
I had a little bit to do with that.
Yeah. But I was home with them.
I know. There was no paternity leave back in the early 90s.
No. And, I was tired and, I was never a mom that screamed, but I was mostly with Wesley, I would say, because he was the first, I was probably more.
Okay. So I'm a mom or a dad.
Yeah.
A parent of an adult child.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this podcast with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about looking back and going, gosh, I wish I would have done something differently. Mm-hmm. What's our counsel to them?
If you're aware of what you would have done differently, go tell your child.
Just so you're saying own it.
Yeah.
Even if the relationship's good.
Yeah. Because part of what you're holding on to is the heaviness of, I should have been different.
So you should on yourself.
Yes, you're shooting all over yourself. So to be able to go to your adult child and go, you know what, I've been thinking a lot about this and it's really bothering me. And so I want to just apologize for how I was then. Or what I did not know. What I did not know was this, right. This, and this. Right. And I wish I would have behaved differently.
So
I would have done
so what I hear
different.
You saying, you're going with no expectations that you need any particular response from your adult child.
No.
You're doing this more for you.
Yes.
To forgive yourself, move on, move past it, begin the healing process, whatever. I just want to verbally say this to you and look you in the eye and saying, I love you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And now, mind you, your child may respond with, well, thank you, finally, or, or, yeah, that really hurt me, or whatever. And then you just own it again and just say, I can imagine. Right. And I'm really, really sorry.
So it's kind of long-term repair relationship that you don't necessarily know needs to be repaired.
Exactly.
You could be doing just fine. You're getting along great. your adult kids respond great to you, and this is weighing on you. It's on your heart, and you're going to bring it up to get it off your heart, not knowing how they're going to respond.
Yeah.
And things. And so just be in a state of don't expect a specific, response, a hug, whatever, because it may stir something up in them.
Yeah, it might.
Right.
I mean, that's a chance you're taking.
Right.
But don't convince yourself, oh, it's better left unsaid.
Don't sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, don't do that. If your heart's being prompted, if you're feeling conviction, if you're feeling a heaviness, those things need to be unloaded. Now, mind you, if your child has ever told you you're such a narcissist, you make it all about you, you're going to have to be really careful how you say it then, because it is about you in the sense of you want to make it right. It's not about you in the sense of it's your child that you're concerned that has been harmed by your actions.
Is there an option? Do we have an option in this as opposed where I'm saying instead of going to your adult child to say this, can I go to a therapist? Can I go to a good friend?
Oh, absolutely.
Can I take care of it that way? Because maybe my adult child lives in another country. Maybe they're not going to receive this well, or it's going to give them fuel to add to a fire where they already don't like me or something like that. So this isn't something to go do to repair a relationship that's gone wrong or south or whatever. This is just
the heaviness that you have of that. Again, it's a conviction. It's a heaviness. I didn't know.
I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, I would encourage if you have fear about going to your child, if you feel like you're not a good communicator, yes, by all means, go get counsel, go get therapy, go get whatever, and talk to someone about that. And maybe that does need to be done first to get it out.
Yeah, because where I was going, don't move quickly in something like this. You just like all of a sudden the podcast is over, the music comes up, boom, there you go. You're out the door or you're on the phone. It's like, no, I would say slow this down. Yeah. My first suggestion would be you take it to the Father, pray over this for a while, and let him speak to your heart. Father, what do you want me to know about this that's heavy on my heart?
And part of what you need to know is you need to know about yourself in the sense. So like in my case, when I talk about this heaviness, I have to take that to the Lord and say, okay, Lord, let me see myself through your eyes right now.
Yep.
Let me grasp that, because I can live in the shame of blowing it, right?
Right.
Anytime we blow it, we can live in shame. And so living in that shame doesn't do anybody good.
Right. And I would also say this, it would probably be another good step to have this conversation with your spouse.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I hear that. I mean, and if you're for example, I'm the husband here in this relationship and I don't have this feeling toward that. So I want to listen well. I want to validate well. I want to see this through her lens.
Yeah.
And I want to pray with her on this and still let it sit. And maybe she's going to say, okay, well, I want to go talk to him tomorrow. I'm going, hang on. Why don't we wait? Because you need to be in agreement. I always want to say husbands and wives need to be in agreement, right, on things with their adult kids.
What do you mean in agreement with their adult kids? Oh, you mean with each other?
With each other.
When it comes to relationship with their adult kids. Yes. I would say yes.
We're getting deep into the weeds here.
Yeah, we are getting into the weeds because yes, but then there's the issue of your relationship is your relationship with your kids and my relationship is my relationship with my kids. And that's something that we've driven home many times on the podcast.
Yep.
You are not responsible for mine and I'm not responsible for yours.
True.
So,
okay.
Anyway, all that to say, yes, I think slowing it down is a great idea.
At least having conversation.
And having conversation with your spouse, a friend.
Because where I go with that is you're so good at seeing things that I don't see. So that let's put the focus on me. I'm the one that's going to have this conversation because I'm the one feeling like I wasn't a good dad and whatever. And you might see things a little differently. So I want to hear your side of things is really all I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea, hun. That's
Okay.
very,
Anything
wise.
else we want to share with our friends out in
No,
Pivot
I
Podcast
think
land?
I think we've covered what I wanted to say tonight. Again, please leave a review, say hi, share us with your friends, share us on your social media. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm seeing too that a lot of folks are listening to us around the world, which totally blows me away. It's like, whoa, we're not completing, we're into our 4th year of doing this. And so that just tells me that there's a lot of parents out there of adult children, and there's not much out there for them. So thanks for listening. Thanks for rating the podcast and
Thank you
liking
so
us.
much.
And if this hits home with you, great. And if you know another couple, it's like, hey, you might want to take a listen to this podcast and things. Share it, because we do this from a ministry perspective. We do have a book out there. It's on Amazon. I'll put it in the show notes. We're not making very much money off of it, hardly anything.
Pennies.
Yeah, it's all ministry for us. 13 principles for building healthy relationships with your adult children.
Yeah.
So check that out. And you want to get a hold of us, I'll put some things in the show notes too. Julie is available for counseling. We have a lot of listeners who will look you up and saying, hey,
Yep.
I've got this situation. And it may not be a weekly thing. It might be a monthly thing, or when something comes up. So she's got a lot of clients that have come from the Parent Pivot podcast. So we'll put her information in the show notes as well. And other than that, that's all we got for today, right?
That is all we got.
All right. So we're going to see you in another week on the Parent Pivot podcast.
Bye.